Hey everybody, this is Kako here, and A Golden is done. Now I have all of the A-sides for Golden's done. That's very nice to have. Overall, this Golden was like very just not enjoyable. Like this was at the start it was fine enough, but like the grind just like over time got much worse. Because the further I went along in the grind, the more it just ended up feeling luck-based. I decided not to go for the strat for the singular reason of just I couldn't be bothered to learn it. So I just ended up doing all the ice rooms. I don't really think it affected the difficulty that much because the ice rooms aren't really the hard part. If anything, the hard part is the actual room that you have to go through after you get the ice switch, and that's not really that much easier or harder to skip. So it's like, I guess it's sort of like key skip and farewell, but like. This is much easier than Farewell, so not really a super apt comparison. Overall, the beginning of this was just kind of filler. Like, I would randomly start dying to the first couple rooms, and then I would just end up getting a bunch of attempts deep that ended up dying to more dumb stuff. That's more or less just how the grind went. I had a bunch of chokes in like the last checkpoint. Overall made this a not fun grind. Like, chokes to the last checkpoint in and of themselves are fine if the last checkpoint is hard and you're dying to hard things. But it felt like I wasn't, that's the issue. So it was just not fun. Here I just decided it would be funny to neutral kick up this and not get the fire switch. I don't think this is even like worth going for. I just did it because I thought it was funny. And also it lets you not have to hit the switch there. So you can just keep going through the ice. And we're already at the second checkpoint, for reference of how just the length of this. The second checkpoint went from being the easiest checkpoint to the hardest checkpoint to being the easiest again. Funnily enough, the hardest room, which at one point I dubbed the luck-based room, became infinitely more consistent once I started calling it luck-based. So I just thought that was really funny. I'll mention it when we get there. It's mostly just improv. Like, the majority of these rooms aren't really much to write home about. Mostly just managing cycles. This is luck-based room. A lot of this is just improv more so than anything else. Hence why I call it luck-based. It's very easy to just improv wrong and then just have your run be dead. And we're almost at the last checkpoint already. This room is also kind of annoying. I do have a couple strats here, like in order to stall out. Like on the next wall, I just do like a back jump so that I don't get hit by that fireball, and we're already at the final checkpoint. Even though this is like, to be fair, the single longest checkpoint here. This is like by far the hardest checkpoint. But there's only like a couple, even still there's only like a couple rooms that make it hard. There I just have to like spam my climb key in order to just stop the cycle. I did the strat wrong there. Normally I do 3 quick taps, but there I just didn't do the second quick tap. So I ended up holding on for longer than I wanted to. But the strat still worked, so it's fine. The rest of these rooms up until like the rest of these rooms for the most part aren't that interesting unless I have something to say about them. This is one of the rooms where I do have something to say about it. This is like one of the hardest rooms, mostly just because of a lot of tight timing. I don't do intended here. This strat is pretty self-explanatory, I think, so if you're struggling with that room, we can just do that. Here I just have to do like a wall bounces or like quick climb jumps in order to not die to the rising ice. This room randomly started killing me, but my strat is do 2 neutral kicks and then wall bounce off of that core block on the left. That's like one of the few rooms where I had to like go into the lab and like develop a proper strat for. And we're almost at the outro of this already. We only have one more part, which is this part. Here you just hold jump to bounce on these, except like whenever you're about to grab the dash crystal, then you let go jump, so that you can grab the dash crystal safer, and we're already at the outro. The outro to this was like very chokeable. I ended up dying there much more than I'd like. Mostly to one specific room, but I also died to cassette room twice, both of which were in very dumb ways, so that was fun. A lot of these rooms aren't really anything to write home about. That's a kind of a common theme with 6A. There's not really a whole lot going on necessarily, and it's like a very like slow-paced chapter in like comparison to most of the other A-sides. It's basically what you'd expect from a core chapter and a vanilla chapter. pretty backloaded, but overall, not anything too bad. This is like the last room that's like worth mentioning. And even then, it's like pretty self-explanatory. This jump is sort of tight, but like that's as far as it goes. And the next couple rooms are basically free, so I don't really have much more to add, so I'm gonna see you in the next video, which is likely gonna be 7B Golden or Mega Man 1. See ya. Alright. Please, dude. Finally! Christ! I did the thing! Finally! Finally, I won the dice roll at the end! I'm not even, like, happy that I did something hard, I'm just relieved that I don't have to go through that RNG fest again. Like, Christ, dude. Now I can actually do something skill-based. I forgot I don't even have Pog added on my stream. Finally, dude. Jesus fucking Christ. That felt like so much longer than an hour 15 session. That genuinely felt like a 3-hour session. Oh my god, it was so paired.